Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the CBS 7 News Help Your Neighbors special, Rebuilding Homes and Lives. Hundreds of families are having to start over as massive wildfires tear through homes, leaving nothing behind.
Tonight, we'll introduce you to several families impacted by the devastating wildfires across West Texas. We'll even talk to the Red Cross about their ongoing efforts, helping people restore their lives.
We also have some people standing by in our newsroom to take your donations over the phone tonight. The Help Your Neighbor total is now at more than $24,000. We're hoping tonight that you will help us meet our goal of $250,000. You can call right now at 580-6397 to make a donation to the Red Cross in the ongoing wildfire relief efforts. We begin tonight in Midland County, where two wildfires back in April destroyed about 60 homes.
Here's a look at exactly what a family goes through when they lose everything.
On April 9th, this is the image that captured headlines. A massive fire in South Midland burning out of control.
Look at that, Jay. Look, it is growing before our eyes.
1 month later, this is the reality. Dozens of families left with nothing.
So what was this?
This was the house.
Joe and Lupe Valadez lost everything in the fire.
The house, the furniture, everything inside, the memories, the pictures, important papers that we had in there. What the hell are we going to do next?
Some people don't have a home.
As we walk across the concrete slab that used to be the foundation to their home, we are surrounded by piles and piles of rubble.
The only thing I grabbed was two baby pictures down the hallway.
Close my eyes and pray.
That day, the family tried to water down their property, but the wind
They got 45 miles an hour. They ain't gonna stop it.
The blaze was really high and we could feel the heat.
Joe, Lupe, and their two teenaged boys were evacuated. They gathered at a nearby town and country and waited, not knowing if the fire had reached their home.
We were just hoping and praying it didn't, but I guess it did.
I don't know. I mean, we had it one day, and the next day it was all gone.
Over the next few weeks, the Valadezes scraped up enough money to buy this mobile home, but it needs a great deal of work to be livable. Right now, there's no air conditioning and huge holes in the floor, and it's all been especially hard on their boys.
I mean, it's hard for them, but they're doing okay.
I close my eyes and I can see the better day. I close my eyes and pray.
Doing okay in the face of an unpredictable natural disaster that shows no mercy.
If you haven't been through it, you really wouldn't know the feeling of it until you really go through it, and then that's when you really it hits you. When you got nothing, you know, what can we pray for, you know?
Someone tell me how to make a change. I close my eyes and I can see a better day. I close my eyes and pray. Close my eyes and I can see a
The Valadezes are just one of hundreds of families actually trying to pick up the pieces now. And as CBS 7's Shannon Murray explains, even after the fire is out, the disaster remains.
It's burnt as far as you can see. My neighbors here lost everything. These people here lost everything. I'm staying in a bus.
Lance Bonke might have a place to stay, but he has no water or plumbing.
Can't go out and spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a brand new mobile home. I just can't do it.
This is the sidewalk that used to lead up to someone's home, but now leads up to a pile of cinder blocks and dust.
Many families are staying in motels for the time being while they figure out their next move.
Mine and his first time going through a fire, losing everything. We're upset and scared. I lost hair straightener for my birthday, and then my favorite thing there was my favorite birthday dress.
For a 12-year-old girl, losing some of her favorite things is the hardest part, but now she's facing the reality.
How are we gonna go through this, and what's gonna happen for the next few months or two?
Shannon, thanks. We want to remind you that we do have people in our newsroom right now taking your donations over the phone. It's very easy. Any amount, no matter how big or how small, will do so much to help these families and so many other West Texans who are literally starting over with their lives.
Well, just ahead, it's one of the largest wildfires in Texas history, scorching hundreds of thousands of acres and destroying hundreds of homes.
We'll have those emotional stories coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching CBS 7's Help Your Neighbor special, Rebuilding Homes and Lives. Welcome back to our CBS 7 Help Your Neighbor special, Rebuilding Homes and Lives. We want to let you know that if you are trying to call, don't give up on us. You're doing a wonderful job, and we can't thank you enough for calling and being so generous. But if you get a busy signal or if it keeps ringing, call back. Our operators are very busy.
Yeah, be patient if you can. Now, before we move on, it's been a stormy night for some parts of the Permian Basin. We certainly want to keep you up to date on that. We've had tornado warnings, even golf ball size hail.
So are those storms still around, and what about the Midland, Odessa area? Any chance of rain? Our chief meteorologist, Greg Morgan, is standing by right now with the latest on those storms. Greg?
All right, thank you so much, Tatum. Jay, it's really been a very active evening of weather. We did have the tornado warning storm down into eastern portions of Pecos County. Lots of severe weather across the area, including that golf ball size hail that fell down in Ira Ann. We also had some wind damage reported in the Mid-Kiff area there in southeastern portions of Midland County and on over to Glasscock County. Now, all of the major severe weather has moved to the east of our area. We're looking at a 3-hour radar loop here. You can see the big storm down there to the south near Ira Ann. We could start our loop back over. You see that's the big tornadic thunderstorm that moved through the Ira Ann area into Crockett County and on toward the El Dorado area. That's since started to lose its steam a little bit. Now we've had a few other thunderstorms develop across portions of Reagan and Upton counties, but as we go through time, a few thunderstorms could develop a little bit further back toward the Odessa Midland area. It's not out of the question to see that occur, though I think the threat of severe weather as a whole is over, and we'll just see a chance of maybe some hit or miss isolated thunderstorms into the overnight hours. Now tomorrow, I think we're going to see the heat return. West winds will kick in across the area. We'll call it breezy. Winds will be out of the west, maybe the southwest, 15 to 20 or 15 to 25 miles an hour. Tuesday is the day that catches my attention as being a big concern as it relates to the wind, the dry conditions, and the fire weather across West Texas. Temperatures will be up there in the mid-90s, so you'll have very low relative humidity values, and the fire danger remains a very real threat. Now we'll have plenty of sunshine through the work week. I do believe a cold front will drop into the area on Thursday. That'll bring highs down into the 80s, but only for a brief period of time. Temperatures will kick right back up, and the heat will be on. Friday and Saturday, highs will be in the triple digits across West Texas. We'll see a few extra clouds rolling in, though, late in the weekend. And I'm not at this point ready to throw thunderstorms in the forecast, Tatum, Jay, but I'm thinking maybe late next weekend, we might see a few isolated thunderstorms pop up across West Texas. We'll be keeping a close eye on it.
Use the rain.
Yeah, we give you permission to do that, so go ahead,
Yeah.
Greg. We are raising money tonight for the Red Cross and the wildfire relief efforts.
Right now, in fact, we are accepting your donations over the phone, and many of you have called, and we urge you to just be patient. If you call and those lines are busy, keep calling back. We do have people standing by, as you can see, in our newsroom taking those calls. You can call our number, our newsroom number, 580-6397, and any amount will be greatly appreciated. Already, folks have done so much to help us out.
Yeah, we've raised a little over $24,000. We had a wonderful $12,000 donation from some good friends.
Dennis and Judy Williams gave that to us late last week, so we thank them for their kindness and generosity. If you've called in tonight to help out, we really appreciate you for calling in as well. Now, Jeff Davis County, another area that has been especially hit hard. Many families there trying to move on after the largest grassland wildfire in Texas history.
The Rock House fire started on April 9th. That fire began outside of Marfa and then quickly spread to the town of Fort Davis. In all, that blaze burned more than 300,000 acres. That video really speaks volumes about how devastating this fire was. Now, dozens of homes and businesses were completely destroyed by wildfire, and now residents are left with only a huge mess to clean up.
As CBS 7 Shelley Childers explains, that cleanup has turned into an emotional task for the homeowners.
We lost everything.
This house burnt to the floor?
His tools, our furniture, clothes, everything. We just walk out what we had in our bag.
Manuel and Hortensia Rodriguez spent 53 years of marriage raising their children and watching grandchildren grow up on this property. Now they watch on as crews work to tear it all down. Buried possessions poke through the piles and mounds of ash and rubble, all that's left over from the wildfire that destroyed their home.
I could see the flames over there and smoke here.
We tried to stop it.
We were fighting so hard, but the fire was so fast.
I had a cousin and a friend that came and pulled them out because they weren't leaving.
The garden hose they were using that Saturday to protect their property is a far contrast to the shovel and bulldozer being used now to clear it all away.
Till this day, I can't understand.
I can start again over, and but it's not going to be the same.
The Rodriguez family used their life savings to build that home and finally had everything paid off. They tell us, though, it will take time. They want to rebuild. And by the way, they had a fundraiser this weekend in Fort Davis, so we hope that a lot of you went out and helped out. Now, it will be some time before many of those who lost their homes in the Rock House fire can rebuild or start all over following that devastation.
About 40 homes were either damaged or destroyed, leaving behind an empty shell where a home once stood.
I can't believe it. Gosh, this is awful.
There is nothing left of this home just outside of Fort Davis. It is one of 40 homes that were in the path of the Rock House fire. Frida Pounds is keeping an eye on this home for the owner. This was her first time to see it after Saturday's fire.
This was a house that no one had lived in for quite a while, and the people that owned it had just re-roofed it, and they were going to be gutting it and redoing the whole thing. I'm not sure how old the house is, but this roof was only 6 months old.
As you can see, this wasn't the only one. Many inside of town were also hit. And this one high on a hill outside of Fort Davis. And from here, you can see the devastation.
The wind drove the fire, and it just came so quick you wouldn't believe it. My husband was trying to save a lady's trailer, and he didn't know the fire was behind him, and all of a sudden it overtook him, and he had to jump in a water tank.
Some homes have been here for 100 years, left smoldering, but people say they will bounce back with the help of the hundreds of volunteers who are lending a helping hand.
And we want to remind you that we do have people in our newsroom right now taking your donations over the phone. And remember, all of the money stays local to help local wildfire victims.
Any amount, no matter how small, will help these families and many others as they start to rebuild their lives. We urge you again, if you call and the lines are busy, we've heard the phones ringing. We know that they're getting to those as quick as possible. Please be patient and do call back if you can. They are very busy over there, and we appreciate all of you that have called in your pledges so far.
Yes, we sure do. Just ahead, the fires may be out, but the work to restore lives continues for the Red Cross.
Coming up, we'll show you how they are reaching out to victims and how you can still help out. You're watching our CBS 7 Help Your Neighbor special, Rebuilding Homes and Lives. We'll be right back. We thank you for joining us for this special edition of CBS 7 News. So far, more than $24,000 have been donated to the American Red Cross since we started our wildfire relief campaign a few weeks ago, and thanks to a very generous donation of $12,000 late last week from our friends Dennis and Judy Williams. Now, right now, we are accepting your donations over the phone. All you have to do is call our number, and we urge you to be very patient because we've had a lot of calls tonight, and we urge you, if you get a busy signal, continue to call because we will be here as late as we need to take your pledges. Now, we have people standing by in our newsroom right now to take your calls. You just call our newsroom number at 580-6397. Any amount will be greatly appreciated. And we thank you if you are calling in your donations tonight. And again, be patient. Please call back if you get a busy signal. Now, cleanup and rebuilding continues from our recent wildfires, and it's going to be a long road before it's all over with. As CBS 7's Jennifer Samp explains, there are many hurdles to clear, but the Red Cross is there to help out.
You normally see the Red Cross during a natural disaster, but what you don't see is how much they help rebuild with the aftermath.
Brick by brick, residents in Midland County are rebuilding their homes and their lives.
I can still smell the smell in it a little bit, even a month after, after it's already over with.
Joseph Bonke says his home is one of the few left standing on this block, but still received a lot of damage.
The windows.
3 different contractors helped with the reconstruction of their house.
Leveling up the foundation and getting things in so we can come back in with good, decent flooring under.
The Red Cross doesn't hand out money, but they do issue vouchers to reimburse companies for their services.
We think it did.
For example, the contractors repairing this wall will give the bill to the Red Cross instead of the homeowner.
And they have gone, just to great lengths to help and make sure that things are getting repaired. Where the fire was.
Bonke says these moments are overwhelming.
Thank you so much.
But knowing there is help encourages him and his neighbors to move forward.
Even if it's just a little something, it just that touches me more than anything else.
Jennifer Samp, CBS 7 News.
Joining us now is Bob Rice from the American Red Cross of Southwest Texas. We're just talking about how remarkable West Texans are, and their response to what we're doing right now is overwhelming, and the phones have been buzzing.
Absolutely been buzzing, ringing off the hook, which we're very grateful for.
Yeah, we are grateful. So we've talked a lot about tonight where this money is going, but how does one get assistance from the Red Cross? Because as we've said, it's been a major season, and the wildfires may not even be over. So how does that work when someone needs help?
Well, I think you're exactly right, Tatum. The wildfires are definitely not over yet. The Red Cross is here to help people who have, in most instances, been displaced from their homes as a result of a fire, a structure fire, probably their own home fire. Sometimes it's the result of wildfires, as has happened most recently.
Yeah, but also, we should say, we hear you guys all the time showing up at a place where a family has lost their home. Now, you've toured a lot of the damage and the devastation. How does this wildfire season compare? I'm a West Texas girl. I don't ever remember a scenario like this.
Oh, I think you're entirely right. This is, without a doubt, the worst wildfire season we've experienced in recent memory. I can't go back too many years, but certainly in recent memory. The devastation has just been absolutely terrible. And to walk through some of the areas where fires have occurred and to see the look on people's eyes who have been affected, in people's eyes who have been affected, and the devastation there in their own home, having nothing left, it's a most unfortunate situation for them, and it just indicates how long a road they have to travel before they're able to recover.
Yeah, we always ask, we sort of that party line, what would you take if your house was burning? But as we have been out in the field and really talked to people, I mean, they had little time to get out of their homes and have nothing now. And that's why what's happening here tonight is so important. Our parent company, Investment Corporation of America, on behalf of all of us team members, and we're so excited by this, has given a corporate grant to the Red Cross of $250,000. And while that is so generous and we are thankful to be a part of this team, the truth is the local need is so great, we really will need even more. And the key word there really is local. So I'd like for you to talk about what kind of control do we as donors and you as the Red Cross have to make sure that money stays to help people who are our neighbors?
Well, that's a very good question. And the Red Cross ensures that donor intent is honored. That's the key word, donor intent. If it is the donor's wish that the monies stay here locally to assist their fellow residents, the monies will stay here for that specific purpose.
We're so thankful for that. That's why we chose to partner with the Red Cross. As you're giving your donations, we're going to have some addresses also. The two keys will be to make the check to the American Red Cross of Southwest Texas. And if you can put that Help Your Neighbor title on there as well, that really will indicate what your intention is, and we want to honor that. Bob Rice, thank you so much for being here and for being so constant, you and your team, in our communities, and really having been out in the trenches, I don't know what people would do if they didn't have that initial response from y'all, so we sure are thankful for that.
Well, our sincere thanks to Channel 7, to ICA, and to the public here in our local area for their kindness, their thoughtfulness, and their generosity in supporting their fellow citizens.
It's a good place to live.
Yes, indeed, it is a good place to live.
Bob, thank you very much. We want to remind you that we are still taking donations by phone. You can call us right now. That number is 580-6397. Stay with us. There is still more to come on our CBS 7 Help Your Neighbor special, so stay with us. It has been a devastating few weeks. People would even use the word scary to describe what we've been through with these wildfires. And it's not just for those who were directly impacted, but for everyone who knows someone who is now in dire need of help.
We again want to thank the American Red Cross of Southwest Texas, the firefighters, all of the men and women who have helped West Texas to move on with their lives after this natural disaster.
Now, there is still time to donate over the phone, so let's give you that number one more time. You can call us at 580-6397. You can also send your donation by mail, and you can find that information on our website at CBS 7. But we're not leaving the newsroom right now. We're going to keep those phones open.
And we've had many of you call in. We thought we'd take a moment. We have just a few of the many calls that we have gotten tonight. We want to just recognize some of these folks who have called in. We thought we'd read some of these to you. William Davis called in with a $200 donation. Thank you. Also, Martha Ferris with a $200 donation.
Sarah Stern called in with $200. Eva Gonzalez with $100.
Here is Freddie Marquez, $25. Ishmael Jimenez with $100. Also, Penny Farish with a $250 donation.
Cheryl Goen with $25, and also Carmen and Raul Flores with $25. And we really cannot stress enough that any amount, however great or however small, is making a huge difference for your neighbors who are in need and for whatever may be coming in the future. And we hope that the rain comes and we don't deal with wildfires, but we're dealing with Mother Nature, and of course we have no control over that.
And this is something that you discussed with Bob Rice, something that we have not seen or that we can remember in a long time, or if we've even gone through something like this. So this just kind of lets you know that these things can happen at a moment's notice, and the Red Cross is there, and we thank them for being a part of this. We thank you for calling in your donations, and also if you call in is busy, we urge you to continue to call, because we will stay here as long as necessary to take those donations to help out.
That's right. We want to end tonight with a look back at the wildfires and a look at the families who are truly struggling to rebuild their homes and their lives.
I don't know. I mean, we had it one day, the next day it was all gone.
We're upset and scared till this day. I can't understand.
I had stuff in my house that I can never replace again.
Because when you have nothing, anything's better than nothing at all.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue.
And they have gone, you know, just to great lengths to help and make sure that things are getting repaired.
To dream really do come true.
You know, you don't know what it's like until you go through something like this.
Oh, someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I?
Through the grace of God, we're going to make it. We are going to make it.